December 2007, another year coming to a close, another month and year that I don't recall. So let's jump right into the books. And only a few books in December of 2007. The first one was The Deluge by Mark Morris. This was a leisure book, it's the first Mark Morris that I ever read, and it's about a great flood. And I don't recall if it's necessarily worldwide or just Great Britain, the UK, but a devastating flood, millions of people killed. We're going to follow the survivors. They're going to try to get to Scotland, and they're going to encounter your typical sort of post-apocalyptic things along the way, and yet there's something in the water. I enjoyed this pretty much. Didn't think that sentence out, did I? I enjoyed this book quite a bit, and as I said, my first Mark Morris. I have some others. I'd like to get even more, and I hear he's a pretty good editor too. Has a series, alphabetically titled series of anthologies for Flame Tree Press that I'd like to pick up. But The Deluge by Mark Morris. The penultimate book for December of 2007. I told you there weren't many. Demon Eyes by L.H. Maynard and M.P.N. Sims, also known as Maynard Sims. And in this book, our main character is Emma, and she works for Keltner Industries and is offered the chance to become personal assistant, I believe it is, for Alex Keltner. She talks it over with her partner, Helen, I believe her name is. And they decide she'll give it a try, and then Helen mysteriously dies. But Emma is going to, her sort of tryout for the position is going to be at a party held at Alex Keltner's estate. But things are very weird, and it's a horror story. So, you know. Great stuff. I'm a huge fan of Maynard and Sims. I don't know why I don't still have this book. I have a couple of their leisure books over on a shelf right over there, and I have some of their trade paperback size books over on a shelf over there. But for some reason, Demon Eyes is not part of that. But it's good stuff. Big fan of L.H. Maynard, M.P.N. Sims, Demon Eyes. Also a leisure book. And finally, the last book that I read in December of 2007, In Silent Graves by Gary A. Braunbeck, another leisure book. In this we have Robert Londrigan, and I believe he's a reporter. He's got a wife who's pregnant with his child, but he and his wife have an argument, and he goes for a walk to cool off. When he comes back, his wife is lying on the floor dying, and the baby also dying or dead. Anyway, he loses his wife and his baby, and in the case of the baby, really loses it because he gets knocked out and the baby's taken from the morgue, and there's this disfigured man that's showing up, and what's real, what isn't, what's going on. Is his wife who he thought she was? All sorts of craziness from Gary A. Braunbeck, In Silent Graves. And that's it. That is everything that I read in December of 2007. Another year has come to a close, and I tried to think of a question ahead of time, and nothing really came to mind. Not a lot to work with only these three books. So I'm just going to open it up. I mean, it's always open, but, ask me anything. I may or may not answer. Bring up any subject. Talk about whatever you want. If you've read these books, let's talk about these books. If you've read anything from these authors, we can just talk about the authors. Anything at all. It's going to be a free-for-all. Just be polite. And that is it. So, leave all that stuff in the comments below. If you have any comments, questions, or corrections, it's basically what I just covered. Leave those in the comments below. Comments are open for spoilers. Just post a spoiler warning. We try to be polite here on my channel. Please like, share, and subscribe, all the usual YouTube stuff. If you'd care to follow me on other social media, I will have links for my Instagram and Blue Sky in the description below. That is all. I almost dropped my notebook. That is all I have for this week. So until next week, read more books.